Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. Our next guest is Eileen Levitt. She's has 35 years of human resource experience, and she has a new book out, which, by the way, is the coolest name for a book. You ready? It's called No, You Can't Bring Your Ferret to Work, HR Tales of the Unexpected. I love it. She joins us now to share some tales and wisdom from her HR career. HR is one of those places where every place needs one. Not everybody wants to wind up in your office. Eileen, welcome to Daily Flash. Is that the case?
Thank you. Thank you. It is the case. People don't, when I walk into somewhere, they get a little nervous when they see me. So, I've tried to disguise myself at times, but that just doesn't work. So, but yeah,
How important
they
it
love
is,
us
though.
and hate us.
Yeah, exactly. It's a needed thing, and by all means, and just the headaches. One of my good friends, his girlfriend is actually HR, and she tells me some of the craziest stories. I'm like, what? I want to start off with that because everybody wants to know, what is the most bizarre HR situation in your 35 years you've encountered?
So there's a lot to choose from,
Yeah.
but the one that I feel summarizes kind of my life is a situation that happened 10, 15 years ago with a client. And
Okay.
by the way, this company has since been sold, so we don't have to go back and find
Okay.
them. But the situation was that there were two business partners. One went to South America, took a leave of absence for 2 weeks, went to South America to do a religious mission, came back from South America and what had found himself and decided that every employee in the company should also find themselves
Okay.
and went around the office with Bibles asking them to reaffirm their faith in Jesus Christ. And we received a call from the partner saying, "What am I going to do?" And I have to say that was a sticky situation. It was
100%.
bizarre because because he was partner, not just an employee. The employees didn't appreciate that. I just want to state that for the record. Um, no one appreciates being
No,
proselytized,
absolutely
just the
not,
thing.
and it makes them very uncomfortable. So, like you said, it was the boss, and so that's why an HR department, human resources, is so important, and why every place needs one, and probably why
And good lawyers.
the carpet in their office is the most worn out. Let's talk
Yeah.
about what's one maybe an HR policy that's out there because of something ridiculous someone did. We know that religion and workplaces should be divided, but are there other crazy stories like this?
So I'm going to say every sexual harassment policy exists because someone did something stupid. There's a company from maybe 10 years ago, Zenefits, that had to write a policy saying no sex in the stairwells, right? I mean, that was a policy. I think it was like 10, 15 years ago when this happened. And then, a colleague said to me one time, "I have got a story for you." And they had a take your pet to work day, and they thought it was a great idea. They think people bring dogs, maybe a few cats, fish, whatever, and enrolls an alligator in a shopping cart.
Are you kidding
And
me?
I really wish I was kidding you, but enrolls an alligator in the shopping cart. And so their take your pet to work day became take your dog to work day after that,
Which is smart, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Which is smart because nobody wants to pet an alligator. At
Not
least
only that, here in
I don't.
Florida, gators eat dogs. I mean, regularly, by all means. And
Yeah.
imagine what could have happened and came out of that. And then you got lawsuits. And I guess if you think about it, HR is there to make sure that there are no lawsuits and it has to overlook that. There has to be a common theme. What was the one thing, maybe from your book, that is very common among employees in the HR office?
Yeah, so I'm going to say I have a story in there called Locker Room Conversations. And it went back to a situation with, I'm going to say, my father, who is no longer with us, but he was famous for exaggerations.
Okay.
And I ran into someone that I knew growing up, and she said to me, "Congratulate." This was, by the way, 1989. I had just got a new job,
Okay.
moved from like 20,000 to $24,000 a year. And she said to me, "Congratulations. I heard your new job. You're making over six figures." I said, "Oh, that's interesting." I said, "Where did you hear that from?" "Your dad told my dad." So I called my dad and I said, "Dad, I'm making six figures. And he said, well, I had to say something because his daughter was, to us, he said his daughter's making 80,000. And the reality is that as HR, people came to my office all the time saying, how come so-and-so is making this and I'm making this? And you can't say to them, that's a lie, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not appropriate because you're going to, but you can say something like, that's interesting. Interesting.
can
I
get
would
that.
say, that's interesting. So I would say thing for employees is when someone tells you something, don't always believe
Indeed.
it because I
We've,
wasn't making six figures at 23 years old in 1989.
we have to leave it there. Thank you so much. More information, you can visit hrteam.com to get a copy of the book. No, you can't bring your ferret to work. We'll be back right after this. I got to go to HR.